Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing my Beauty Killer palette review. I'm not wearing any makeup right now because I got a little bit of sun a couple days ago and I got burnt, as you can see, so doing a little bit of skin recovery right now. So, review Jeffree Star palette. Alright, so here's the box. Jeffree Star Cosmetics and Beauty Killer palette. 10 jaw-dropping shades, vegan, cruelty-free, long-lasting, buttery, and delicious. Experience the formula. Let's open this up. Right, the packaging itself is a nice little baby pink. It is the typical cardboard packaging that most palettes are coming in nowadays. And here is what the palette looks like. So I did. Ow, I just sneezed and it really hurt. Okay. So I watched his video. I watched it when he first announced it and first released it. But I watched it again right before I decided to use it. Let's see. It has 10 shades. It retails for $45. I got it for the Memorial Day 50% off sale, so it was $22.50. There's 3 finishes: matte, frost, and glitter. And 100% vegan, cruelty-free. He says they feel like butter, they're finely milled, easy to blend, blah blah blah. Okay, so I wrote down everything he said about each of the shadows, and I will be swatching them for you, so let me get my swatch brushes. Alright, and in his video, he did what most people do, and just swatch with their fingers. I didn't really appreciate that, because there's some shades in here that do not perform the way that they finger swatch. So first we have Star Power, which is a matte. He says it's eye safe, and the name of it just comes from his name, Jeffree Star. He does claim that none of these leave stains. However, this one stains, and I don't know if it will stain when I do this, but I wore it on my lower lash line for maybe 20 minutes, and when I took it off, it was still there. So here we have Star Power. This is a very bright shadow. This is one of the only bright shadows that I own. Now you can see here it looks like bright, but then when you actually swatch it, it's a little bit, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with my Wet n Wild flat shader brush. There it is. Swatch it here. It does stain brushes, so be careful with that. Now I'm going to go in with my crease brush. I really don't know how he got it so opaque in his video, but he did somehow. And yeah, so it doesn't stain right now, but when I wore it on my lower lash line, definitely stained. Okay, next color is Princess. This is a frost, and this was inspired by toddlers and tiaras. Tiara. I usually say tiara. I don't know why I just said tiara. So this is a frost. Looks like that. My hand is dry. There it is right there. There you go. This is another one that looked a lot better in his video. Next color is Violence, which is a frost, and he said the name was inspired by his very first EP. The shade has a little bit of chunkiness to it. is right there. Use the flat shader brush. It's a little bit patchy. And then the crease brush. There you go. Next color is Rich B word. I don't really like cursing on my channel. I don't really like cursing in general. This is a frost slash metallic. I wouldn't say that this is a frost. This is definitely more metallic, and it's just a gold. This is one of the grittier of the palettes. There it is right there. You can see some of the grit to it. This is really pretty applied with the finger, but when you actually go in, I need to get the color off this brush. When you go in with a flat shader brush, which I tried to do, I tried to use it on my lid. It actually doesn't come off very well. It comes off as kind of like a top coat of glitter. So that was not impressive. So now with the shader brush, it is on there. It doesn't pick up very well. There it is, right there. Yeah. So that right there is probably one of the most disappointing shades in the palette. All of the rest of them are okay. There is another one that I really do not like. This one right here is Courtney, and this is a matte. The name was inspired by the movie Jawbreaker, and in it, Rose McGowan plays a character named Courtney, so that's where that came from. I don't really know how it's related to the color, but this is a really nice transition shade. However, when I put it on my lids, it pulls really orange. So that's what that looks like. And I'm going to use... This one is the one that has like the most kickback, but it's okay. So there it is right there. When I use this one, I use a more densely packed crease brush just because I need to in order to get more color from it. But yeah, that's another kind of disappointing one, but since it is just a transition shade, you don't want it too intense. Like I said, with my skin tone, it definitely pulls more orange, so you kind of want to be careful with that. Next is Expensive, which is a glitter, and this one is also a little bit gritty. You can see a little bit of the chunkiness. There it is right there. And go in with a flat shader brush. This one is definitely patchy, as you can see. Go in with crease brush. There you go. So next is Confession, which he suggests using below your transition shade or on your lower lash line over a black eyeliner. Now that blue one does stain. You can see the blue right there. So Confession is probably, in theory, like my favorite shade in this palette. It's really pretty. It is a little bit hard to work with. It is super soft. This one really does feel like butter. It's a really, really pretty color. It's probably my favorite. There's what it looks like. That was with the flat shader brush. And now with the crease brush. There's a lot of like fallout right there. So a bunch of these shades, if you really want them to work, you have to use a densely packed crease brush or a shader brush, or just like a pencil brush in order to get them to come off super pigmented, or just straight up use your finger. But yeah. Next shade is Vanity, which, being completely honest here, is my least favorite shade in this palette. He says this is, Vanity is his favorite word. This is a matte, and it's this one right here, and it looks kind of black on camera, but it's more of like a gray brown kind of color. And while it is nicely pigmented and everything, when you actually put it on your, when I put it on my eyelids, any kind of like fallout, or like when I blended it out, any spare little piece of pigment literally made it look like I had dirt on my face. So I don't really like this color all that much. And when you try and use a crease brush, it takes a lot of working with to actually get it to be relatively pigmented. So Vanity is my least favorite shade in this palette. Next is China White, which is a matte, and he describes this as a creamy brow highlight. Now this is like a off-white kind of color, and this is a really good color for highlighting, so I do appreciate that. This one also has some kickback to it. So, and last but not least, we have Black Rainbow, which I really would have preferred if this was a matte. If you're going to have a black in a palette, usually people want it to be matte. And with this Black Rainbow shade right here, he said this is inspired by a Marilyn Monroe song. It is a glitter. It's a matte black with a bunch of glitter in it, and like I said, if you usually have a black in a palette, you want it to be completely matte. And with this shade right here, I noticed that when I tried to use it and would blend it, I'll just swatch it. When you put it on, it's like the glitter blends away, which I do kind of appreciate, but if it's gonna do that, I would really like an actual substantial black to be underneath, which it's not. And in the video, you know, he swatched it with his finger, and it looked good. Don't get me wrong, I like Jeffree Star. I like his videos, I like his stuff, some of his stuff, but I don't like that in the video he only swatched with his fingers. Yes, so all in all, it's an okay palette. It's a really good palette for if you are somebody who wants to dip your toes in a little bit of color, which is kind of why I got it. It has some nice colors in here. It's definitely not a palette that you can just use by itself. It doesn't really have a shade that you can use all of your lid, and that's what I tried to do with Courtney, and that's how I know that it pulls really orange, because if I use it all over my lid, it just looks like I have orange all over my eyelid. So, all in all, it's an okay palette. I'm kind of glad I didn't pay $45 for it. I will use it occasionally, but like I said, I can't just use it by itself. I have to pull some other stuff in, and yeah, so I would probably give this like a 3 out of 5, mainly because it doesn't perform very well on the eyes, and it's just, you have to pull in other stuff to be able to use this as an everyday thing. So, that is my review on this. I hope this was helpful for anybody looking to possibly buy this palette. Like I said, I would not pay $45 for this, so if that's what it is when you're looking for it, I would not suggest it. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope this was helpful for anybody. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more videos, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.